Hello, everybody.
Hi, Annie.
Okay, I'm just getting some water. 1 second.
Yeah, I see Abe's here. Abe, hi.
Okay.
Right.
Move Vav 106. So Achia Shiloni cursed Klal Yisrael that they should be like a reed. He said, and that curse is better than the bracha of Bilam. Because Makan is only Mokamayim. It stands in water. Vigizo machlif. If you cut it, it regrows. V'sharshav merubin. It has a lot of roots. Therefore, if you look at rucha shaboilam, all the winds in the world come, bows, v'noshvos bow, they blow it, and ein meziz nasobim komo. It cannot uproot it. Elahu leichu boimim. The reed sways in the wind. Kivin shadam war ruchos amad kabim komo. When the winds die down, it stands where it is. Aval bilam arasha birchan be'eres. Bilam blessed them that they should be like an eres, like a cedars. Ma eres cedars does not stand in the water. B'sharsh of muatim, in relation to its height, it doesn't have a lot of roots. Ve'engiz machlif, if you cut one of the branches, it doesn't grow back. Afilu kol arucha sheba'olam bos v'noshvos po. It doesn't bend in the wind. Winds come, ein mezizis osomim komo, but kivin sheni drumis, if the wind is very strong, miyado karto, it uproots it, v'ofachto apanav. V'la'od ela shezacha kanalita b'mena kumus l'chlei mena sefer Torah, v'yim uksuvim. That a reed is used for the scribes to write a sefer Torah. So the curses that Achia Shiloni did were better than the brachos of Bilam.
Where are we holding?
106, Kuvav Amad Aleph. Just the 10 lines from the top. Vayar Sakini Vaisam Shalom. Bilam saw the Bnei Yisro, and he prophesied. Amrlo Bilam li Yisro. Kani. Lo Yisro Manabos so Paro gathered advisors, Iyuv, Bilam, and Yisro. What to do with the Jewish people? Who pushed you to the giants of the world, meaning Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov? Three people were called in for advice. And Elohim, Bilam, Iyuv, Yisro. Bilam Sheyatz, he advised that all the babies be thrown in the water because they saw that the Moshiach Shel Yisrael, he would reach his end in Mayim. So Bilam advised to kill the babies. Nerag, he ended up being killed. Eov Shesosak, Eov was quiet. He didn't say yes, didn't say no. Needn't be a surit. He suffered. Yisro Shabarach, Yisro disagreed with the plan. He ran away because Parah tried to kill him. Zachu b'nei bonav leishev b'lishach sarkozis. He had great-grandchildren that sat as Rosh Yeshiva and Talmidei Chachamim in the Azora in the Beis Hamikdash. Shenemar, u'mishpachot sofrim, yoshvei yavitz, tirosim shmatzim, suchosim heima, kinim aboim achmas avi beis rechab. Uksiv, uvnei keni is choysen Mesha. Who is the keni? It's Yisro. The father-in-law of Moshe, Olu me'ir atmor. Vayisamer shalom vayomar, oy mi yichya mitzumo el. Who can live the name of Hashem? Amr of Shem ben Lakish, oy mi, b'machaya atzmo b'shem el. Somebody makes his living that in which he repeats what he heard from Hashem, like even in the Rabbanis, it's woe is to that person. Amr of Yechidon, oy le'uma shetimotze b'shar shakadosh baruch hu esapidin levano. That if the nation is caught in between when a Kadosh Baruch Hu is redeeming his people, woe is to that nation. What if you try to intervene between a lioness and a lion when they're having relations? You'd be torn up. That's what's going to be when another nation gets in the way, when Hashem is fighting on behalf of Klal Yisrael. V'tzimiyad kitim, Amarav Libun Aspir. This refers to a certain Roman legion that Bilam was prophesying about. V'inu Ashur v'inu Avid. Ad Ashur Katli Mikdal. He's talking about this Roman legion when it conquers Assyria. Except I'm teaching Talmud right now. Od Ashur v'inu Aver. Ad Ashur Kadli Mikdal. Up until they overpower Ashur, they will kill Jews. They'll only oppress the Jews, but not kill them. Let me advise. Bilam is giving advice to Balak and the Midianites what to do with them. It's like he's cursing himself, but he's really referring to somebody else. He doesn't really want to speak it. What is he talking about? He pointed out that the God of Israel is a God that hates sexual immorality. Jews were people that like to dress in nice clothing. So they like to buy nice textiles. Bo vasiyacha etza. Let me give you some of it. Asilahem klaim. Make these little huts. V'hoshiv bahen zonos. Put prostitutes in these huts. An older one on the outside and a younger one on the inside. V'yimkru lahen klei pishta. Let them sell this textile. Asalen kloim maher sheleg ad beit hayishimot. So they mehar sheleg ad beit hayishimot. Har sheleg is the chermon, where there's a lot of snow. So they built a lot of huts there. V'hoshiv bahen zonos. They put zonos there. Zakenim v'chutz v'yodim v'biftim. Older one on the outside, younger one on the inside. When the Jews were happy, they were eating and drinking. They had money in their pocket. They went into the market. The older Zona sitting on the outside would say, do you want to buy some flax? The Zakena would give a price, which is the market price. The Yalda, then the one on the inside, Umeres Lobo Pachos, would offer it for lowest price. And this went on Shteim v'Shalosh Panim. Arachach Umeres Lahareat Keben Bayis. They would come many times. And eventually they would say to them, listen, you're like a family here. Shave Bror Latzmacha. choose whatever schoira you like. They had good wine that was made by the Bnei Ammon, and he would drink some. This was before the Xeris where they asered yain nesa. They offered him wine. Once he had some alcohol, his Yetzer Hara picked up. Amar lash mi'ili. So he wanted to have relations with the prostitute. Hotzia yirasa mitocheka. She would take out her idol from her breast, and Amarlo avod laza. You have to worship. If you want me to agree to sleep with you, you have to worship this idol. Amarlo halo Yehudi. I'm Jewish. I don't worship idols. Amarlo ma ichbis l'cha. What do you care? Klum avakshim imchayla pure. Just go to the bathroom in front of the idol. That's what they want you to do. He didn't know that was exactly the way that they worshipped Baal Por. I won't give in to you sexually. You have to reject Torah's Moshe. Shenemar, Heima Ba'u Baal Peor, Vaynazula Boshes Vayushi Kutsim Be'ava. So this was the methodology by which they got 24,000, I think that's what the Torah says, who eventually worshipped Avozor were killed. Or Magefa, they had a Magefa. We've learned before that the whole point of Avodah Zorah is to allow them to do sexual immorality. Vayeshev Yisrael Bashitim. Rabbi Eliezer is Shitim Shema. The name was Shitim. Rabbi Shua is Nisasku B'divrei Shtus. It's called Shitim because all this was Shtus. Vatikrena la'am lezivchei Eloheihem. The people were called to offer korbanos to the foreign gods. Rabbi Eliezer Omer Aruma spoke about it. They were walking around naked in order to attract them. Rabbi Shua Omer Shinasu Kulan Balik Karian. From Fatikrana, they became Balkari. Since we mentioned name of a place and why such a place is named, my Lashon Refidim, it says by Vayavo Amalek Vayilachem B'Yisrael B'Refidim. Well, he has remember Refidim Shema. The name was Refidim. No. Sheripu Atzma Medivrei Torah. Their hands were weak in learning Torah. Shenemar Lohifnu Avos Albanim Mirifyon Yadayim. Amrav Yechon Kamakam Shenemar Vayeshev Eino Leshon Sar. The word Vayeshev always leads to bad story. Shenemar Vayeshev Yisrael Bashitim Vayachalam Liznos Abnomoah. They were camping in Shittim, and that's when they started doing znus with the Bnos Moab. It says Vayeshev Yaakov Be'eretz Mugrei Aviv Be'eretz Canaan. Vayavei Yosef as the Bosam Rol Aviyam. He starts bringing Lashon Hara about the brothers to his father Yaakov, and that leads to Mechiras Yosef. Then it says V'nemar Vayeshev Yisrael Be'eretz Goshen. Vayikrevu Yimei Yisrael Lamus. So the Vayeshev leads to Tsar. Vayeshev Yudav Yisrael Betach. Each tachas gafno v'tachas teinaso. The beginning of Shoftim. It's the beginning of Malachim. Before they and immediately after that, Vayokim Hashem Sotan l'Shloimoi es Hadad Hadomi Mizrach HaMelech Hu Be'edom. All of a sudden, they started having problems with the Edomites. Ves Malchei Midian Hargu Al Chaleihem. In the Melchemes Midian, it says they killed the Malchei Midian, and then all of a sudden they throw in Ves Bilam ben Beor Hargu Bechar. They killed Bilam. What's Bilam doing in Midian? He doesn't live in. He comes from Aram. He's Lavan Arami. We said he's Lavan's son. Bilam Aboyazim. What's Bilam doing there? He caused the death of 24,000 Jews. He was promised money. He came to collect. A camel who wants 2 horns, they cut off his ears and like that was what happened to Bilam. Not only didn't Bilam get paid, he got killed. And there's Bilam ben Beora Kosem. It talks about him being a magician. Pasuk in Yoshua. Hargu b'nei Yisrael b'chorev. So why do they call him a Kosem? Navihu. He was a prophet. Amar Avichem Batchila Navi. Yeah. He started off that way. But so if he lost his nevuah and became a Kosem, he was just a magician. Amar Papa Amar Inchi Mizki v'shus nehavi Eisen lagavri nagri. Somebody who comes from a family of rulers, this woman, she became a prostitute to like a carpenter. It shows how far Bilam went from being a Navi to being a nobody. It says, Argubne Yisrael b'charev el chalaleihem. Amarav shekimu bo arba misos. They killed him with the 4 types of killing. Skila, Sreifa, Hereg, v'chanek. Amar le'ahu mina l'Rav Chanina. A certain Apikoris said to Rav Chanina, Mish milacha, have you heard Bilam bar Kama? How old was Bilam? Amar le'michtav loksi. It's not written. Evil people, people of blood and trickery, lo yechzu d'meim, will not live half their lives. So bar tlosin u'tlashnin, or bar tlosin v'arbi, he's either 33 or 34 years old, because most people live 70 years. A half of a life in 70 is 35. So he didn't make it to half of his life. Or shapir kamrit, he said, the woman said, good. I saw like the passport of Bilam. Bilam was 33 years old, the lame. When Pinchas the Ganef killed him. Stay away from darshaning about the hedyotos who elam chelik, but except the Bilam Arosha. Bilam you can darshan. The comment as much bad as we can say about him, you should say. So in Shmuel Aleph, Ksiv Doyeg, Daled Vav 2 Yud Gimel. Why? Sometimes it's written Doeg, and sometimes with 2 Yuds. Kodesh Baruch Hu would sit and would worry. Maybe this guy's going to go off the derech. After he went off the derech, he said, woe that he went off the derech. Doeg Adomi was a huge Talmid Chacham. Simon Gibor Rosh Tzadik Chayil Sofer. Amar Yisrael, might it seem, Mati Talal B'Ra'a Gibor, Chesed Al Kol Hayom. Pasuk in Tehillim. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu Doeg, Lo Gibor B'Torah Ato? You're a big Talmud in Torah. Mati Sal Baro, what are you doing hanging on with evil? Lo Chesed El Natoy, don't I provide Chesed for you all day? To the Russia, Elohim says, Malach al Sapra Chukai. What are you doing adjudicating my laws? You caused the death of the city of Ira Kohanim. You spoke Lashon Hara. How are you going to darshan these psukim? You're violating them. Vatisabri si alai picha, and a covenant. His Torah was not internal; it was from the lips outward. Because Bilam was successful, initially they feared him. Later on, they'll laugh because they saw his downfall. Chayil Bola Vayikienu Bibidno, Yershenu El. Amar David was Nekodesh Baruch Hu. Baruch Shalom. Yomus Doeg. David asked Nekodesh Baruch Hu that Doeg should die. Amar Lo Hashem said Chayil Bila Vayikienu. He's full of Torah and Chachma. maybe we should wait to kill him until he forgets what he learned. Amr l'fan of mi bitno yoresheno el. You can take out his Torah even before he forgets it. Amr Yitzchak, gam al yitzech al netzach. Amr Kodesh Baruch Hu David. Nesi doeg lamed asvi. Let's let Doeg come to Olam Haba. Amr l'fan of gam al yitzech al netzach. No, he should not live eternally. What does it mean? Yechtach v'yitzchach me'oel. Let them say his halach in the yeshiva. No, I want his words to be thrown out of the yeshiva forever. Asks HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Levelei binyan rabbanon. What about it? Let him have sons that are Tamei Chachamim. He said, Ushar shecham eretz chaim himself. That his roots will be uprooted forever. Amr of Yitzchak, Aye Sefer, Aye Shekel, Aye Sefer Zamigdalim, Aye Sofer, Kol Esir Shabbat. He was Bucky Doeg in all the Chseros and the Aseros in the Torah. Zamigdalim, Aye Sofer, Sholish Me'ez Halachos, Psukos B'migdal Perech Avir. He could darshan 300 halachas regarding like a box suspended in the air. What are the dinay of Tumah V'tar regarding that? Omer Rabbi Arba Mea Boy Bo. He had 400 shilas of Doeg v'Avikoyf, Doeg and Achitoyfel b'Migdal Perech Ba'aviv Lo Yishtet Luchad. We don't answer one of them. Omer Rabbi Revusi Lemivi Boy. Is it a big deal to ask good shilas? You need good answers. And we have a proof. B'shnei de Rav Yehuda, Kulit Noi b'Nezikin. In the times of Rav Yehuda, the only Masechtas we had were Nezikin. Anon Kamasis and Tuva Buktzin. We have everything, including the Masechtas of Buktzin, which is in Tahara. L'chiyavi mat Rav Yehuda, when Rav Yehuda got to the Mishnah, Isha shekoiveshas yerek b'kedera, a woman who is like pickling vegetables in the dish, which deals with mashka makabel tuma, or zeishin shekavshan betarfei and tohirin, zeisim that are soaked are tohor. Omer havis to Rav Shmuel kachaziyach. These are very hard. These are like the debates of Rav and Shmuel. So, by saying that, and this is even in the easier subject, we Vanan Kamaslisin Buktzin plus Mesivasa, we have 12 yeshivas that are studying Uktzin, which is more complicated than Nizakin. And yet, Rav Yehuda Shalaf Misanivasa Mitra, if the place had a drought and there was no rain, Rav Yehuda would take off his shoe and rain would fall. We call out to daven, nobody listens to it. Why is this? HaKadosh Baruch Hu liba boy. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't just want our Torah, he wants our heart. D'chsiv Hashem yireh l'levav. Amrav Meshashek. Doeg v'achitefu l'hav v'savi shmaitza. They did not really understand how to reach the halacha. Maskar Marzutra, man d'chsiv bei, ayi sofer, ayi shekel, ayi sofer samigdalim. The person who said all of these praises, v'at amit l'hav v'savi shmaitza, that didn't know how to derive a halacha. They couldn't get everybody to paskin like them. It's a secret for Hashem's favored ones. In fact, they waited for Doeg to forget his learning. Then he died. He became a leper. Which means which means forever. Utnan ein bein musgar or muchlet. When the Kohen comes to check out the nega and he says it's either musgar or muchlet, it's elapriu frima. It's whether you take off, cut your hair, or not cut your hair. 3 killing angels came to Doeg. One angel made him forget his learning. The other one, it burned his neshama. one of the angels spread his ashes in the yeshiva. Rav Yochanan. Doeg v'achitophel l'arozet. They were in different generations. Doeg is in the time of Shaul. Doeg mei Shaul. Achitophel mei David. Rav Yochanan. Doeg v'achitophel l'chotzu yimeim. They each lived only up till 35. Doeg lived 34 years. So l'achitophel and shloshim v'sholim. Rav Yochanan. B'tchila kara David l'achitophel Rabbo. Initially, David called Achitophel Rebbe. Ulvesef karo chavero. Later on, he called him his friend. V'sov karo talmido. Then later on, he called him his talmid. B'tchila kara Rabbi Vata enosh ke'echi alufi midoi. Aluf is like a general, it's like the Rebbe. Ulvesov karo chaver asher yachtav namtik sod yachtav. B'vesov na'alech baragesh. Ulvesov karo talmido. Gam ish shloimi asher batachti bo. Oichalach mehigdal le'akim. So the relationships change. Mario, you want to change the?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do another half of it.